Hello everybody, this is Rich Toad again, and welcome to episode 5 of Let's Play Disco Elysium. So, I'm gonna be honest, it's been about 3 months and a little extra since I last recorded. I moved. I now have my own place. It's a nice little bedroom apartment. I'm living it with just me and the 2 cats. So, yeah, no. I was always like, oh yeah, no, I'll have plenty of time to record. I can do it later at night since I don't have to be as quiet. Still have to be mindful of, like, the neighbors, but not, people sleeping in the room next door. And then I promptly was super busy getting a new apartment ready for, like, 2 months. So, yeah. I said 3 months. It's been, like, 4 months, hasn't it? Dang, it's been a while. So, yeah, let's go ahead and refresh ourselves. First things first. Let's check the journal and see what we have. So we don't have a map yet, so we can't like look. We really should find one because that'd be super helpful. But we have a lot, I think. And I did review what I did last time by watching the video. And you know what? We have 2 skill points. Kim needs to understand us.
Yes?
We need to convince Kim there's a sexy, dark mystery twist in this case. We have to do it.
What's it?
Yeah!
Did it?
Did what? The Hanged Man?
Yes, you killed him. And then, as part of the plan, you drowned out the memory. Maybe this is why your chest feels so hollow. You did an awful thing. And you can't even bring yourself to acknowledge it. Are you sure you have the strength to take down a hardened mercenary? You're not in the best shape.
Keep it to yourself. This is your burden to bear now. You know what? We're not crazy enough. Lieutenant, I have a confession to make. That didn't lead to something. You know what? Let's just see where this goes. We put a point of Inland Empire. Let's just go with it.
And what has led you to this conclusion?
My chest feels hollow, like I did something terrible.
That is a common side effect of overindulgence. It will pass.
So you're saying I didn't kill him?
I find that highly unlikely. It's not unusual for detectives to feel complicit in a crime until the perpetrator is apprehended, especially when the investigation is dragging. So let's get back to it, shall we?
That was not the dark, sexy twist I was hoping for, but okay. I think up next is going to be the ledger.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A pitiful cabbage of white and yellow papers hanging from plastic board, barely held together by a metal clip. This sad display is made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner.
Anything else?
There's a piece of toilet paper, or is it cleaning tissue? No, it's toilet paper, desperately sticking to the back of the blue plastic clipboard. It's a metaphor for you. Below the pathetics, terror. Do not look into its blue heart.
We're a cop. We inspect everything. Inspect the toilet paper.
It's just toilet paper, sticking to the back of the plastic clipboard. You can take it off if you want.
Maybe it's kitchen tissue? They look exactly the same.
If you want it to be kitchen tissue, it can be kitchen tissue. It's not, though. It's toilet paper.
Okay, whatever. We'll take it off.
Still wet, the toilet paper, kitchen tissue, sorry, peels off the plastic easily. All you have to do is shake it off your finger, and voila, the ledger now looks marginally better.
Inspect the clip.
An aluminium block runs the width of the board, biting down on the paperwork. Its crocodile teeth are the only thing keeping the papers together. A regular pencil, the tip worn down to nothing, has been attached to the clip.
So I'm like a very touch-oriented person, and I used to like see those things with like the crocodile teeth, and just like used to run my fingers along those all the time, just because it felt so nice. Oh, it's the weird things. I don't know. Now I almost want to find one just so I have like something to stim with at my desk.
The surface is interrupted by a silvery sticker. It's rectangular, sparkling with iridescence. You don't know how you didn't notice it before.
Lieutenant, is this one of the hologram watermarks you mentioned?
What? Yes, halogen watermark used for adding information to our scene property.
How can I read it?
Any capable light with the right wavelength will do.
Like, for example...
All RCM vehicles have headlights designed to reveal halogen watermarks. Mine too.
This means you can read the watermarks if you just turn the lights on.
Interesting. What kind of information?
It depends. Aside from an anti-counterfeiting stamp, mine has my station number and address. The information varies by date of issue.
How many years you've been on the force, he's thinking. It'll have that.
That's all, thank you.
Okay.
He returns to his neatly kept notes.
While a bunch of sodden papers sag from the clipboard in your hand, it's a sorry sight.
Look at the clipboard.
It's made of dark blue plastic, hard enough to beat someone to submission with. The edges are rounded, however. The U4 size board feels thick and heavy in your hand. Light shimmers on its wet surface. On the back you see the embossed letters, RCM.
You know, I really hope that there's a scene in our detective's past where he had to beat somebody over the head with this clipboard. What did you say the color was?
Blue. The blue heart. Don't look into it.
Shake it!
Something rattles inside, ever so lightly. Is there a hidden compartment?
Ooh, peek inside.
The plastic shimmers like lapis lazuli, but it is not see-through. You cannot see to its center.
How would I open it?
With your hands, U4-sized pages hang from the clip, screwed to the top of the board.
I'm actually gonna wait on that white check, because Lonesome Long Way Home is what is in our thought cabinet right now. And it's bringing down our... Let's see. Temporary research bonuses plus... Wait. Why is it giving a -1 to interfacing? That's strange, because I would think it would be normal. Okay, well, yeah, we'll try it maybe once we... Hold on one second. Sorry, had a bit of a sneeze there. Blah. So yeah, I think once Lonesome Long Way Home finishes, we can try opening it, because I don't want to try to spend a point just to do a decently easy check. Ooh, let's just smell it, because we're...
The acidic stench of rotting food is rubbed off on the cellulose. It now forms the base of the experience. This base surrounded by a faint air of spoiled meat, the stuff of death itself, and then sprinkled liberally with the citrus zest of toilet cleaner.
Yeah, no, bad idea, but let's browse the white pages.
They're not exactly white. They're yellowed in patches by sunlight and alcohol, and covered in dense blue handwriting. Ink escapes into watercolor patterns, reaching its tendrils across entire pages. The paper itself is checkered, with faint red lines, forming short paragraphs. Once in a while, there's a red stamp that exclaims, "Case files, commit to paper." The case files themselves are plenty. You count more than 100 sodden, crumpled up, earmarked pages falling apart in your hands. They appear to be sufficiently organized and extremely dense, if mostly illegible.
What is in there? What are they about?
Work, strife, poverty, the Jamrock Quarter. These are handwritten logs of investigations dating back to January 51, this year. The exact number is hard to estimate due to missing pages and an odd naming convention. But there are at least 20, maybe 30 cases undertaken, not completed, mind you. It's the middle of March. You have attempted 2 cases a week on average.
Is 2 cases a week a good caseload, Lieutenant?
Huh? 2 complex cases to undertake is a lot, yes. You really have to push yourself. I would not suggest it, lest you start making mistakes.
2 cases a week appears to have been my load, Lieutenant. I'm not sure I completed them, though.
2? That's a lot. I didn't mean to say you are making mistakes, by the way. That was presumptuous of me.
I burned out alright.
That's okay. We all do, sooner or later.
Like a fan of gills, the checkered papers dry in your hand. The handwriting is extremely dense, if mostly illegible.
There was a mention of a naming convention here?
Yes, it appears you employ a, shall we say, robust yet literary system. Each investigation has its case number written on the margins. Yet, still more tellingly, most are accompanied by a name. A title, one might say even. One that draws inspiration from snoop fiction and vespertine cop show staples.
Oh my, and they're written in capital letters, too.
Yes, all caps. One is called The Next World Mural. Another, The Square Bullet Hole Murders. Another yet, The Unsolvable Case.
More?
Others appear more light-hearted. The guys on a couch in an unexpected location, and the murder at the hookah parlor. Even the rare article-free collapsing tenement. Murder features prominently throughout. It's going to take an effort to piece these case files together, but it can be done. Once you're done inspecting them up close.
Count the pages. I have to open an official case. Is there room?
There is, for precisely one more. 15 pages near the end remain untouched by the damage. The checkered grid forms a structure of passages, breaking the case into subtasks to accomplish.
Hold up.
Like a fan of gills, the checkered papers dry in your hand. The handwriting is extremely dense, if mostly illegible.
Because I think it's going to want me to name it, and I want to see if Kim wants to help with the name. Because he's as much a part of this as us. Kim, my case appears to employ some kind of naming convention.
You mean the alphanumeric? Officer, precinct, time of arrival at the scene?
No, I mean a non-numeric one, with titles.
Oh, you mean the titular? Yes, well, so do I. In our defense, almost everyone in the RCM does.
Why is that?
It's a holdover from the early days of the RCM, right after the revolution, when the organization had little idea of how to do things. It persists in an unofficial capacity. Officers use these titles to refer to their work among themselves.
I seem to have a named a case, the Square Bullet Hole Murders.
Again, in your defense, I seem to have named one the man with the hole in his head. That was a real person. His death was real. Still, I named it that, to amuse myself. I pray his loved ones never find out.
What happened to him?
Rail spiked through the head. He died. It was a workplace accident.
There is, for precisely one more.
Let's commit to paper.
15 pages. The tasks you've completed flow out of the kind green ape pen in a brash freehand similar to the rest of the letters. The wording comes easily. It's almost robotically simple. A language developed for mental rigor and simplicity. Inspect the victim's body. Get the body down. Interview the cafeteria manager. It's not exactly poetry, but poetry would be out of place.
Cross out the ones you've already finished.
A satisfying slash sounds across the paper. You're done, it seems to say. And you, and you. Things to be done, and things already done. The composition of reality. This is an extremely useful tool for a detective of the citizens' militia. Now all that remains is to name the case.
Lieutenant, have you by any chance named our case?
No, actually. Any ideas?
What do we think would work best with our naming convention we've had? I mean, most of them have been pretty simplistic, so we could just do the Hanged Man, maybe? The Furies are at home in the mirror seems too, like, I don't even know what to say about that one. Like, just no. The Setting Sun, Shit on a Stick, and Hanged Man.
Great. That's great. That's actually what I was thinking too. The Hanged Man. Good, strong name. We have a very good name for the case now.
That's also one of the tarot cards, which I like the... It provokes an image, which I like a lot. So,
I'm going to start calling it the Hanged Man. It's good we sorted this out.
see, I like him. He's very much a by the book kind of person, and he does things rigorously, but he's not afraid to like do some unofficial things and has his own personality as well to his work, which I love. So, I'm done inspecting these.
You don't exactly close them, so much as distance yourself from the smelly papers. They're a little further from your nose now.
Can I read the case files now?
It's proving to be harder than expected. You just don't have the intellectual rigor to patch the quilt back together. Try again later.
I guess so. Browse the yellow papers.
In the back, you see thin, translucent copy of paper. Some neon yellow, some bright red, all covered in boxes, like marching armies. These look like official forms, waiting to be filled out. Then rip them from the binder and hand them out, according to type of form.
What types of form are there?
3. The topmost are misconduct fines, the middle ones are station calls, and the bottommost are field autopsy forms. Each is easy enough to make sense of. You don't have to be an intellectual giant to do police work.
Misconduct fine?
A monetary penalization ranging from 20 to 250 real. Severe cases allow for 1,000 real, but that requires special paperwork. The details of issuing these fines are spread out over the rest of the fields.
Wait a minute. Is there not... Crap. It won't just tell me how much I owe. But, fines. Money. What's the station call?
These are quite sinister in tone. They give a date and time for the person to appear at the specified precinct police station. Below the call are the criminal charges you risk by not appearing.
And field autopsy.
A dozen pages of thin copy paper, bright red in color. You see the parameters of a deceased human form waiting to be filled in. Age, sex, condition of internal organs.
Enough of those.
Yes, all that remains now is to fill those forms and hand them to people. Fines for wrongdoers, interview requests for bad guys, and field autopsies to dead guys. What delicious power hid within this pathetic mess. You feel better. The rest of the stinking cellulose is much worse for wear. Being sandwiched between the board and the rest of the paperwork must have spared the fragile copy of paper.
Let's go ahead and put the ledger away. But we're not done with it yet.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox.
Kim,
and
how do I turn on the
soft glow of
headlights?
fuel.
All right. Ready? I turn, you press start. It's next to the preheater.
He's downplaying his excitement. The lieutenant is more than happy to show off his precious carriage.
A car man.
The dashboard lights up with orange glow. The rounds per minute gauge jumps, and the engine of the Caprice Canelo comes to life with a whiny growl.
Dang, that was loud. I should put a volume warning on that. Crap.
The lights unfold with a little click, casting electrical light onto the ground before the vehicle.
There you go. I'll turn them off from the remote once you're done. We just need to stand in front of the machine now.
Okay, can do. Oh, come on now.
As you hold your ledger's clip under the headlamp, an iridescent hologram appears. A street grid and the veins of a great river. A familiar sensation washes over you.
There she is. Revachol West.
There's a note of pride in the lieutenant's voice.
Around the borders of the watermark are dozens, no, hundreds of micro-perforations.
Look at the perforations.
There are many of them, and they are divided into 3 separate rows.
Tally up the different rows.
The first row has 18 dots.
What about the next one?
The next is the longest. It runs all the way around the border, and then some.
Count them individually.
There are so many, it's hard to count. More than 150, at least. Maybe even 200.
What about the last row?
The last row has 3 perforations.
3? That's it?
That's it.
Hey Kim, what do all these holes mean?
Those are perforations. They represent your record as an officer of the RCM. They are your statistics, as it were. I should have guessed you'd keep a record. Officers often do. Let's take a look. The first row represents your years of service. 18 years. Okay, not bad at all. What did you do before you volunteered?
Do you really think I have any idea?
Fair point. Let's move on, shall we? This next row, the one that wraps all the way around, is your number of closed cases. Closed is good. It means finished. You've got, let's see. Wow, more than 200.
Is that a lot?
It's quite a lot, even for someone who's been on the force for nearly 2 decades. Usually, clearing more than 10 cases a year puts you in the 90th percentile of all RCM officers.
So you're saying I used to be a super cop?
Call it what you want. You were a valuable member of your precinct. Now, let's look at the last row. Right. Those are your confirmed kills. You've got precisely 3 perforations there.
So, I'm a killer.
For an RCM officer, especially Precinct 41, which is in the Jamrock quarter, it's rather tame. I mean that in a good way.
What's it feel like to kill a man, Mr. McCoy? A young woman asked the man across the desk from her. Honestly, babe, says John McCoy, crossing his ankles over said desk. I don't feel anything anymore. It's just like brushing my teeth. I do it once or twice a week and don't really think about it. There's no trace of guilt in his voice.
There are certain officers who treat their kills like some kind of ghoulish game. If they do happen to solve a case, it's usually by accident.
It's obvious the lieutenant doesn't think very highly of these officers.
But it seems as though you are, or at least were, one of the good ones. So we have that to be thankful for.
Have you ever killed anyone, Kim?
Yes.
He says, declining to elaborate.
It's not a problem for him to state it, however.
How do you handle the strain?
Everyone has their own method of coping. Some more effective or self-destructive than others.
He gives you a meaningful look.
Personally, I find it helps to keep up a few hobbies.
Maybe I should find a hobby.
Why not gardening? You've already got the gloves.
He points to your yellow gardening gloves.
It's meant in earnest. Please don't mistake it for a jab.
Thanks for this.
The lieutenant nods.
So I like this so much because it tells you a lot about your character's past. And this game really puts in front of you 2 options to play. it gives you the option of making your own cop and how you want to play the currently nameless detective, or you can try and be true to the character that has already been established and be who he was. So, in 18 years and over 200 cases, he only had to kill 3 people, whereas somebody else in his precinct does it on the regular. So, before this game started, you were not a very violent person. Of course, since you're the player, you get to choose that, but if you're staying true to this amnesiac detective, then chances are the character still would be pretty non-violent and focus more on solving things with words or actions rather than just murder. So, this game just proposes so many different options, and I love it. And the best part is even if like you're doing that sort of thing where it's what we learned from this is that you worked hard, you were really good at solving cases, and you didn't use your gun often, at least not lethally. That still gives you so many options with how the dialogue is set up, because you can still be a starry cop, you can still be a superstar cop, you can still be apocalypse cop, and all of that can still be so true. It's so good. Let's look at that shimmering street grid.
The rectangular watermark is overlaid with the logo of the RCM, and yet the major arteries of Revachol are all recognizable. They shimmer in the Kanema's headlights.
Where are we on this?
Let me see.
He takes the ledger for a moment and inspects it.
Right here.
He says, his finger near the top of the map on a segment of coast jutting out into the great ocean. Seems like a shithole.
It has its problems.
Let's look at it again.
The rectangular watermark
And
is
look around you.
overlaid with Iraq brazenly darts past you and disappears amongst the stopped lorries. In the distance, a child somewhere shrieks. A woman reprimands her in a voice no quieter than the child's cry.
I hate that when parents, like... Because I get it, parenting is difficult, but I don't think... And it can be hard to control your emotions, especially when you're with a child a lot of the time, but very rarely have I seen a reprimand in loud words quiet a child down. That doesn't seem to work very often. I hope I never have kids of my own.
Ah, Martinez.
He smells the air and says... Oh, it's gonna make me ask where are we on this map? Fine.
Let me see. Right here.
I'm sure I've seen worse.
Oh, yes. Coal City. Le Royaume. The burnt-out quarter.
So there are worse places than here. Good to know. Like, this world... Like, this isn't just the bottom of the barrel. This world just can kinda suck, I guess.
Right. I'll go turn off the lights.
He presses a remote control on the key. Alright. Oh. Oh no, that's not a map. That's more stuff. More white checks. Okay. Oh, and some done. Okay, so we could talk to Kuno and Gar about the clothes. We could run the... We're at the cart anyway. Let's run the number on the victim's armor real fast.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow of the fuel preheater gauge.
Why have we not done this? Tap on the fuel preheater gauge.
As you tap on the gauge, the indicator pin jerks as if startled. It's in the large orange sector, indicating the engine is warm. Next to the gauge is a red switch labeled heat.
No. That's enough fun with the foldable headlights. I know they are mesmerizing. They are also fragile. I'm not going to turn it on for you again.
Aw, that's okay. I was gonna do the radio.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Could you run a serial number from a pair of armored boots for me?
Sure, officer. What's the number? And the make of the armor, if you know it.
E50 100 1000. The make and model of the armor is Fairweather T500/VE.
Got it. I'll contact the ICP database immediately. Call back tomorrow. Hopefully they'll have dug up something useful by then.
The International Collaboration Police, ICP, is an inter-Isolari law enforcement service, the crown jewel in the moral intern diadem, alongside EPIS and the coalition government.
Alright, I'm done with the radio for now.
57, over and out.
In the cabin, you see a set.
Okay, and we can just leave. Alright, I don't want to do more talking with Kuno and Gart, because we've spent enough time in this area already. Like, let's explore some. Let's get out of, like, the whirling and rags area, and walk down the road at least a little bit. Because there's so much more to see and do. A glossy magazine. Most able-bodied men. This issue hosts a top 10 list. Yeah, it's also like 6:30. So we're running pretty late. Like, it's getting late already. Jump Jams, a popular music mag.
Welcome to Rivachol.
Announces the rotund man. The remark isn't addressed to you, it's addressed to the lieutenant. Why are you addressing my partner like that?
Don't you welcome to Revachol me. My grandfather came here from a 3,000-year-old racist isolationist culture, while your ancestors came to this island a mere 300 years ago. Every school of thought and government has failed in this city, but I love it nonetheless. It belongs to me as much as it belongs to you.
Clearly there's a racial dispute here, so let's let Kim handle it, and if we need to step in, we will.
It's men like you who keep Revachol divided, making it that much harder for everyone to climb out of this post-war limbo.
Limbo? What's going on here?
Oh, come on, man. I just said welcome to Rivachol. It's a lorry driver thing.
Is it a lorry driver thing? Or is it a racist lorry driver thing, because that's your name?
I know exactly what you meant. You think my kind doesn't belong here, that I should watch myself and behave. But you see, I'm an officer of the RCM. It's actually my job to make sure you behave. I would advise you to remember that.
Silence. The air between them becomes tense. Your partner needs backup. Now's your moment to shine.
Hmm. Oh. I think actions will speak louder than words here. So I don't think the first one is the best option here. I think we all learned something here. Smile at the lorryman.
I haven't learned anything I didn't know before.
The lorryman shakes his head with indignation.
The lieutenant exhales and resumes his regular calmness.
Now that that's settled, we have a couple of questions.
Whatever you say, officers.
He waits impassively, cigarette smoldering between his fingers.
You could ask him to show you the soles of his boots. He definitely looks like someone capable of a lynching. Maybe he was present.
Oh, this is talking about that, racist mug we found in the hideaway. So, jab at him for being a racist. Let's see. What are you hauling?
Oh, not much anymore. I'm here to pick up some cargo, but the dock workers are on strike, so it's a sit and wait on your ass situation.
Wait, how long has this been going on then?
The strike? Oh, they've been at it for a while. A month, 2 months maybe. But this here is just the last week or so.
Okay. What kind of cargo are you supposed to pick up?
Apples?
Apples?
Yeah, apples. I take it you had other questions?
He's given you the runaround. Let's be honest, you were bested.
Let me see the soles of your boots.
Been admiring the stompers, huh? Sure thing. Check them out.
He lifts his left foot, then the right.
On the bottom of the man's boots, you see an intricate tangle of treads with no immediately discernible pattern.
What's up with your soles?
It's Revachol.
Where did you get boots like that?
Custom made. Cost me a pretty penny.
He rubs the back of his balding head. But why?
For when the invasion comes, the last thing they'll see before the lights go out is illustrious Revachol.
Hmm.
It doesn't look like the lieutenant cares. He just makes a little note.
You do understand you're stomping on Revachol every day, don't you?
No, it's not like that. You don't get it. It's when I kick them, you know? Oh, fuck it. It's too complex for you.
Ah. I found this mug in the trash. Yours?
Oh, man. Oh, man. That's great. Look at that guy go. I haven't seen anything that funny in a while.
Is it yours?
God, man. Thanks for that, but no, it's not mine.
Yeah, well, it was worth 5 experience, so... I don't think we need to ask about the world building. What was that argument all about?
It's about biological determinism, natural law, the sorting of the races.
He spits on the ground.
Not the most popular topic nowadays, with a coalition in charge and all. You might want to change the topic. That is, bury your head under the sand like common sheep.
Oh, so you're just a racist. Makes sense.
I'm not just racist. Look, I've read books. Huh? The science of racial theory has all been proved, even if some people don't want to accept it. People who've studied these things say that you and me are superior by design. So, naturally, we Occidentals should be in charge. Obviously, you can see the merits in that.
I really hope that's supposed to be sarcastic. I don't think it is, though. Right, I've already made up my mind. Want to hear it?
Oh?
The man seems mildly disappointed that you don't want to hear more of his lecture. Yeah, I'm not down with this. Why don't you go fuck yourself?
Don't push your luck, runt.
The man gives you a disgusted look, then turns his attention elsewhere, ignoring your presence. Don't worry, Kim, we got your back. Freet! While we wait for this, I have myself a nice orange Fanta here. Good stuff. Yellow roses, dozens of them. Tulips, too. Somebody asked me the other day what my favorite flower was. Now, honestly, I had trouble thinking of one. Like, I think I like tulips as far as, like, looks. Just because they're so pretty. They come in so many different colors. I used to have, like, a batch of them growing outside my house as a kid. And they would just bloom every spring and die in the winter and bloom again. And they were so tenacious because we never took care of them, mind you. They just did it all by themselves. So I was always a little bit impressed by that. A melancholy pop song plays on the radio.
A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various medicine bottles, nasal sprays, and blister packs. They all bear the Saint-Baptiste Pharmaceutics logo. Their logo is the bloodless rose, pure white, untouched by harm.
Just ask me if you need anything from Saint Baptiste. We don't stock prescription meds, but we do have Nosafed, Duramine, Magnesium, and Hypnogamma.
So let's see. 9 times 3 would be 270. So I guess a Dramamine is a little bit more cost effective, as would be a Hypnogamma. There'd be no point in buying a Dramamine. Simply because, like, we don't have 3 health to refill. We have 1 of each, and we're looking pretty good. We're full, and by full I mean 2 of 2 on health, and 3 of 5 on morale. And it's getting pretty late, and you get a free refill of both every day. So, who is Saint Baptiste?
Saint Baptiste, you know, the pharmaceuticals company. Saint Baptiste Pharmaceuticals, the one that sells meds out of Saint Baptiste. That one. There.
She is right. Saint Baptiste, the company, derives its name from Saint Baptiste, the city. Itself so named because that's what it is. A rare case where that really is the full etymological history. As far as almost anyone knows, at least.
Huh. Thank you, Encyclopedia. God damn it. How I Met Your Mother.
I don't know. Let's see. Nosafed is a nasal spray. Duramine is a really good painkiller. Magnesium is a dietary supplement. Hypnogamma is... I don't really know what Hypnogamma is. I guess it makes you feel less shit. It's recommended to use after lots of partying, studying, or exercising.
Ooh, can you be a little more specific?
No. Sorry. I'm not like a doctor or anything.
Okay, well.
The tear machine stands in the corner. A sign says, 1 bottle equals 10 cents.
What is this machine?
Oh, that's the tear machine.
Yes, but what is it?
It's a machine for tear. You know, you find tear outside, like bottles or whatever, and put it in the machine, then it gives you money.
I see, and how do I pick up tear for the tear machine?
You need a bag, I guess. We used to have some, but we gave them all out, so...
You are the worst clerk ever. I mean, you're awake, so not really, but...
Feel free to use it if you find a bag, though. I'm sure there are some out there. Somewhere.
You're less than helpful, though.
You see several packaged raincoats fill a low shelf beneath a display of croissants and juice bottles. The raincoats are transparent, except for the big Fritta slogan on the back. A colorful display of cigarettes and alcohol bottles line the shop wall, inviting you closer. There, in that dark green glass, all in vain. The great flowing river of warmth, wine, alcohol, beer, alcohol, love, alcohol.
This is not a good place for a recovering addict.
Guess not, no.
She just looks at the wall of kids behind her, then adjusts her hat.
I'm obliged to inform you that both alcohol and cigarettes damage your health. But I guess you already know that.
So yeah, you can use stuff. Ooh, +1 intellect, -1 to health. +1 physique, -1 morale. So yeah, like, honestly, for when we need a little bit more oomph, the damage to morale is kind of negligible to us, because we have such a high morale cap. So we could use alcohol for when we need some physique. The smokes, maybe not such a good idea, but... let's see if the clerk has anything to say.
Welcome to Frit. Feel free to look around or something. Everything is out on the shelves.
She returns to her magazine.
What's that magazine she's reading?
What magazine are you reading?
You mean this?
She looks at the cover boasting of a colorful photo of 2 girls kissing.
This is Pop Stars. It's got like famous people in it, it's not for sale.
Looks like it also has something called Police de la Mode, featured on page 34. This speaks to you.
Forget about all that. What is this fashion police feature?
It's where they rate different outfits famous people wear. It's kind of funny. They're kind of mean. It's about who's the most stylish.
I bet your hat would take the prize.
No. I don't like it. I hate it.
Every clerk does.
We are not the fashion police. We're the real police.
Let's proceed. I have some questions for you.
Okay. I'm not really supposed to be chatting to anyone, but...
She puts down the magazine. Does Frite have a warehouse in the back of the Whirling in Rags?
A warehouse? I don't know. Maybe. I don't really care what Frit does.
Come on, give me something to work with here.
She looks up from under her brow.
Fine. Frit doesn't have a warehouse. Just a little back room here. Okay?
She turns back to her magazine without waiting for you to respond. Can you tell me anything about the dead body?
I don't really know anything. I mean, I know it's there, but I haven't seen it, so...
Alright, well, thank you for your help. Can you tell me anything about this reality we're in?
Reality? You mean, what reality? Economic reality, or...?
She is like a student unexpectedly called upon by a teacher. Can she answer the classroom question?
No, I meant the physical reality.
I don't know. What about it?
Where are we?
We're in Frit
No, I mean, where are we on a larger scale?
as mankind, or as a nation, or...
What will her essay prompt be?
As a nation.
We're in
She rubs her face, thinking.
we're in a transition. You know, transitioning from monarchy to democracy, all that stuff.
She nods, then folds her magazine back. What time is it?
I don't know. Look at the clock. It's right behind you on the wall.
The clock shows the time at 10:09. The hands seem to be still. It's apparent the clock doesn't work.
What is the revolution?
When ordinary people take over the government and demands democracy.
What about the one we had here in Revachol?
Yeah, it happened like 50 years ago or so. Sorry, I'm not very good at this. At history, I mean.
The coalition. What's that? Someone told me there is one.
Our government? Or do you mean something else? Sorry, I really need to finish this article.
I won't bother you with this nonsense anymore.
Cool.
Alright guys, well that's all the time we have for today. Not as much exploring as I would have liked, but we'll get there. We'll leave Frit. We'll go out, hopefully find a bag so we can actually start, like, the money you get from the bottles is peanuts, but it's better than nothing. And we'll make it further away from the Whirling in Rags next time. I swear, I promise. We won't just spend a whole lot of time standing around talking with Kim and looking at stuff. So, next time on Let's Play Disco Elysium. Later.